What's up, guys? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. So here we got a 2008 Jeep Wrangler JK Rubicon, and we're gonna tag you guys along here. We're gonna pretty much turn this thing into a beast. But we got a lot of things going on in this one. As you can see, we've already taken apart a lot of stuff, and the reason for that is, as you can see, we got the bumpers off. What we did is we went ahead and painted the whole frame. There's nothing that I hate more than rust. As you guys can see, we got it all painted. I'm gonna take you guys to the back here. No bumper. We got the TerraFlex tire carrier, the heavy duty one, because we're going to plan on putting 37-inch tires on this one. And today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a MetalCloak 3.5-inch lift. We got a lot of the stuff over here. And we got the Rocksport black shocks that are going in. Show you guys what these beauties look like. That's a work of art right there. That is gorgeous. So yeah, we're going to be doing this today. We're going to be lifting up the front and the rear, 3.5-inch suspension. So as you guys could see, we did some of the things on here already. Wasn't planning to make videos on it, but I figured, hey, we're going to be doing so much things to it. We'll show you guys every step of the way on all the things that we got going on with it. As you guys can see, so far, what we've done is we've put a Genesis dual battery system in there. And we've also put the Rugged Ridge snorkel, the one that goes in through the side here, because I didn't really want to cut into the hood. So that one, we didn't make a video on that one, but as you guys can see, that one goes over here, goes into that pipe right there, attaches onto the brake line, and comes out this way. So we have to take out the fender for that one. And then we wanted to go with this one because we don't want to always have the snorkel up on the top over here. We like this kind of style where if we want to, we could take it off and it just kind of looks nice and neat like that. So yeah, we put the snorkel on when we need it. When we don't, just cruising around the city, we just leave it like that. So yeah, we got a lot to do. But yeah, so far pretty much all we've done is we put the aftermarket front grille on there. That's pretty cool. Some like it, some don't, to each their own. Yeah, we got the dual battery Genesis on there, which is nice. We could hook up we got all these terminals here for the negative and the positive. And that one we got to hook up later. That's for the grill. And then, yeah, we got a lot to do to this one. Yeah, we're going to be doing compressors, twin compressors on there. So yeah, we're going to do the lift today. We're doing 37-inch tires. We're going to change the gears to 513. So this thing's going to be a beast. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys here along the way all the things that we're going to do to it, and make this thing all ready for off-roading, for overlanding, whatever you guys want to do. And we'll probably make some videos along the way showing all the places that we take this thing to. But yeah, we got a long way to go. We're just getting started here, so follow us along. And let's get this party started. Alright, so before we put it up in the air and take all the wheels off and get started on the lift, what I want to do is, so that way I have an idea of exactly how much it's going to lift. And we'll probably, a good place to measure it, because who knows what we're going to put everywhere else, is by the door here. So what I'm going to do is I'm measure from the bottom to the bottom of the door handle. If you guys can see that, that's about 43.5. So now what we're going to do is we're going to lift everything up, and this is pretty much bone stock at this point, except a couple additions to it. So we're going to put a lot of weight on this thing, and we're going to see what the height is going to be just after. And this is a 2-door, so it's probably going to be a lot higher than what it actually says. It's probably going to go more than 33.5 inches. But we're going to see what the height's going to be without putting any other additions to it. And then later at the end, when we're all done with everything, the whole build, the bumpers and all that, you'll see how much it drops, and you get a better idea of the difference over here. So yeah, let's get this thing going, and we'll put the lift kit on there. All right, so we got the wheels off. Now we're ready to get started on it, and we got the blueprint over here on everything that's going down. So just a heads up, sway bar links. Make sure you guys got the one with the short stud goes in the back. The ones that are longer go in the front. And then just a heads up, if you guys don't got your aftermarket wheels on it, if you guys are gonna add these outboard shock mounts on there, you're either gonna need some back spacing, space out your original wheels. Otherwise, you gotta make sure you guys have your aftermarket wheels ready to put on after the lift. So let's get started here. Go on to the first page. We're just gonna do this step by step. We're not gonna miss anything. So first thing, A right here, we got remove the front sway bar links. So yeah, we're gonna take off the left. And make sure you guys, all your bolts, keep your nuts and bolts organized, because we're gonna have to reuse a lot of them for the new stuff. And while we're working on those, next step is to remove these brake line brackets over here. Those are 10 millimeters. I'm just working that back and forth because I don't want all the rust from inside. This one was some surface rust, and that's why we painted it, but nothing too crazy. But I don't want it to break off in there and have to drill it out and whatnot. So yeah, work it back and forth a little bit, and that'll help. But before I completely remove that one, what I want to do is I want to remove or loosen up the brake line off of the hose, because we're going to put new hoses on there. It looks like that's a 12 millimeter. This is going to be rough. I don't even know if it's going to come out without heating it. Oh, looks like it did. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off, because I don't want to break it on the line up here, and it's going to snap there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect it off of the caliper. We got to take it off there anyways. Vai mesmo os ventos, estou a vida de ler isto. All right, so we got that off of the caliper. And now what I'm going to do is make life a little easier so we don't end up opening more work than we have to. Now I'm going to take the bracket off. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to twist the brake hose off of this so that way I don't have to worry about breaking off the line. Mä hiitsiä sai tietää sanomataan. Mengin pan. Alright, so we got the brake hose out the way. Looks like there's a gasket on there. I don't know what the hell that is. It looks like maybe just paint. And then we'll do the same thing to the other side. Take that out too. We got the sway bar links off in the front, both sides. So now we're going to remove the track bar. And we got the jack stands ready here. So yeah, that's the old, this is the new. You go like that. That's almost double the size of the original one. So yeah, this is real heavy duty. You can even feel it by the weight of it. So that's what's going to go in there. And after that, we're going to remove the struts. The struts are going to have a 16 millimeter on the top and a 16 on the bottom to hold it. All right, so spray the top there with the little WD-40. We got a ratcheting 16 millimeter wrench on the top and a 16 on the bottom to hold it in place. And just keep going to town. Yeah, this thing is pretty rusty, so it's gonna put up a good fight. And put up such a fight that it actually snapped off instead of loosening up. You guys can see right there, the top lid just snapped off. So I guess there's no saving these ones. Let's change it up a little bit here, since that one didn't fit there. So save that. We'll probably need that one later. Hey guys, so we're continuing back with this one. Yesterday we had some technical difficulties with the telephone. So our battery ran out on the camera, and by the time we noticed it was too late, so we got some of the stuff going already. So pretty much where we left off was putting in the, taking off the control arms. And the passenger side on this one, just so you guys are aware, the bolt in the back there, that one you have to cut off. And then you got to put the bolt in that comes with the kit, because that one touches on, so this one up here, that's a lower control arm. The bolt I'm talking about is the upper control arm, and that's on the passenger side right here. So to take it out, it touches the exhaust on the catalytic converter. So it would cut it off, and then we'll put a new bolt in through this side. It's got a opening right here on the frame. Put the bolt in through there. Otherwise you'd have to take the whole cat out. And I don't even know why they designed it like that. So yeah, we put the new lower control arms in. These, make sure you guys put the ones with the adjusting nut in the back, in the rear of the vehicle. And then the curved part is going to be facing inwards towards the engine. So you can see we got that one in, we got this one in. And then we're putting 3 inches of bump stop on the bottom. And what you have to do is you got to drill a hole, 1/2 inch hole. Make sure you guys take the pucks that come with the kit, center it, hit it with the center punch, and then drill out a 1/2 inch hole in there. And then you got the bolt to hold the pucks together. These are 1 inch a piece, and we're doing 3 inches. Some do 4, some do 2. It all depends what you guys have for your fenders, so that way it doesn't bottom out on it and rip out the fenders. So yeah, we got on this side, we got the strut in already, and we got this clamped up here, and this has different settings on it, so we got to play around with that one. I'm not sure what settings exactly we got to be on, but first we'll put all this back together. If you guys got some info on those, put it in the comment below. And for the struts, there's a bracket that comes with the kit that you have to install on it that pushes it further out. And that's where we were talking about. You guys can't use the stock wheels because that way your wheel is going to rub. In order to install this one, on the other side, I believe it was, the holes were already there. This side we have to drill one hole in the bottom. As you guys can see right here, we got two holes here, and then we got another one over here, and then this is the main one that the original strut was bolted into. So these are going to be 3/8 inch holes. Drill those out, bolt that on there, and then we're ready to put the shock back into place. But another thing we're going to be doing right now is before we put the springs on, like we did on that side, we're going to take off the upper bump stop because we got new ones. We're going to upgrade those with the MetalCloak upper bump stops as well. These are old, these are dried out, and they don't have much use to them either way. So yeah, we're missing one in the rear already, so yeah, we figure we might as well just put new ones on there. And the way you take them off is just spray it in there with some WD-40, loosen it up a little bit, and then grab yourself some channel lock pliers and just twist it, and grab a screwdriver and kind of just poke it inside of there, and then eventually it'll rip out. In this case, we still got a piece missing inside of there, so we'll just get a screwdriver. You can see there's a lot of crap in there. Yeah, so just clean the area off a little bit there. And then just like everything else, we're going to paint all the rusty stuff in there just to kind of prevent it from further rusting up. Although it's already rusted, it ain't going to prevent nothing. But if it's not too bad, put a couple sprays in there. Just make sure when you guys are changing out the springs, don't forget, if you guys got the Rubicon, don't forget disconnect your harness for the differential lock, and also don't forget to disconnect your breather, and also make sure you guys disconnect your ABS wires from the knuckle, so that way you guys got a lot of slack on it. You don't want to rip that up because it's got to extend pretty low to put these springs in there for the 3.5 inch lift. Alright, so after that, we're going to hammer in our new bump stop on the top there. And for that, take your bump stop and spray it a little bit with WD-40. And you get that started in there by hand a little bit. And then pretty much just going to whack them all. Yeah, it doesn't twist or nothing. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So now we got to get the shock in there, or the spring in there. And before you guys get the spring in there, because we didn't mention in the video, because we got kind of messed up with the dead battery on the camera, so we did that already. But make sure you guys put the padding on the top that comes with the kit. You take off the old one if that didn't come out with the spring, and then put in the new one. And this only has an insulator on the top, nothing on the bottom. So yeah, once you guys get the insulator in there, then we're ready to put the spring on there. So line it up, line up the notch on the top part with the notch on the insulator. And then push the spring in like that, and then double check it. Make sure that it lines up. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about on the top there. You guys could see it's seated right in the channel. And then we got it seated on the bottom too. And then we can start putting in our bump stops on the bottom. So yeah, if you guys don't have these, you got a different kit, you could just buy regular hockey pucks and drill a 1/2 inch hole through them. So that's pretty much all these are. They're just hockey pucks with holes in the center. And we could slide these in one by one. Get our bolt in. And then we'll get this started, and then we'll put the nut on the bottom. Yeah, it looks like this hole was just a little bit too small, so we got to get it started with the wrench. It doesn't go all the way through. So once we got that, we'll get the nut on the bottom, and then we'll tighten this up until the hockey puck starts squishing together, and that'll be tight enough. Maja, ty też trenowania poszło. Alright, so that's good. Alright, so once we got that done, now we're ready to mount our struts. So we got the strut mounted on the top. And now we're going to mount it here on the bottom. And I don't know why, but the angles on this strut don't match up with the angles on the bracket. Maybe those angles will adjust as the car comes down and lays flat, but it's a little bit of a challenge trying to get that in. Alright, so we're just going to hammer this guy in there and then adjust it as we need to, because it's not straight. And I gotta have a talk with MetalCloak about this one. Tell them they gotta do a better job on that angle on that bracket. Making our lives difficult here. All right, so we'll start it in the back first, and then we'll now what we got to do is we'll probably got to lift up the truck and then put a jack underneath it. But what we're going to do is we're going to start the other side too, and that way we can get both of them going at the same time when we lift it up. So yeah, this one's not any better. So yeah, you guys could see what I'm talking about. This angle is kind of like that on the bracket, and then on the strut it's just straight. Okay. Now we'll just use our rubber mallet. And we got a 1/4 inch extension here to kind of help us center it. So now we'll stick our bolt in through this side. We'll get that started. And now we're going to jack up the car, put it on jack stands. All right, so we got one on the passenger side, one on the driver's side. And then we're just going to lower the car on them, and that should help us center it a little bit. It should bring this a lot straighter. Where is it? Right there. So yeah, just once you got it the front jacked up a little bit, line up the back. We'll do the puck. The puck. Okay. Let's take a look and see what that looks like. Looks like we gotta go a little bit like that. Now we're in. All right, so we're out the back side, and then we'll put the nut on that one. And then we'll do the same to the other side. Pe shiko po I gjetën. Ke njëra këtu është, po ajo ne. Është shtrëngohen. It's the same thing with this one. Give it a few love taps. And look in the back to see where the hole lines up. All right, we got that through. And that's out the back. Put the nut on there. And that's tight. Alright, so we got both of the struts in there. And after that, we could take the jack stands off of it because we don't need those anymore for now. Now everything's secure. We don't got to worry about our differential falling out. And then we'll bring this back down so that way we can continue where we left off. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put the bracket on there to mount our gas chamber for the strut. The other side we did already. We're going to do the same thing to this side, and I'll show you guys how to do that over here. So yeah, this, we're going to put a bracket. We got a bracket with the kit. And this guy's just going to sit there looking pretty just like that. So this is the kit. We got the 2 clamps, the bolts, and then we got the bracket that's going to hold that in place. And then we got to drill out a couple holes in the side of that spring mount to put this bracket in place there. Alright, so pretty much we're going to open up the clamps. And that's an 8mm. Open them both up. Okay. And then we're going to put them in through our bracket. And that's going to go in through the hole like that. And then same thing with the other one. It's going to go in through the hole like that as well. And then get these started. It makes it a little easier to mount when it's on there. And then we're gonna loop those clamps in through the cylinder. And then bring the screws in through the top so that way we can adjust them, tighten them up and loosen them up. And this is going to go here like that. And that will tighten it up with the wrench. All right, so we'll leave that guy facing down. And then we'll just tighten it up with the wrench here. I don't want it being too high up there. And I think what I wanted, nah, that's about where it's gonna stay. About right there. And this I don't want completely touching on this mount. So I'm gonna lift it up just a little bit where it has enough room to be free from the top and enough room to be free from the bottom. And take your center punch and then mark your mark in the middle. And also make sure you guys aren't riding on top of that piece right there either. So we're gonna readjust and push it back a little bit and then make 2 new marks. Yeah, that looks good about right there. So it looks like this guy doesn't want to come out no more. So we'll do the drilling with this in there. And it's gonna be about right there. So yeah, that's good enough. Okay, and then the holes on that one, those are gonna be, let's see what the size on that was. That one's gonna be 17/64. So we gotta have a specific hole because those screws that come with it, those are self-tapping screws. So we don't want to make it too big where they're unable to screw themselves in, because then we got to put a nut in the bolt and it's hard to fit a nut in through the other side. And then we'll get one of the holes lined up and we'll start our first bolt. So yeah, these are self-tapping bolts, so they'll find their way in there. And then let's get this one started. And before I tighten it, what I want to do is I want to lift it up a little bit, so that way I got it backed off of the strut tower, or the spring tower. Because all that's going to do is just create rust. Look at that, I think that's perfect. We got clearance up top, we got clearance on the bottom. That ain't gonna go nowhere. And now we're gonna tighten up the clamps. Put this on setting 2. And like I said, for all you pros out there, reach out in the comments below and let us know what the settings should be for regular on-road and then off-road, because I see it's got 8 settings, so it's got to be something for each one, a standard for on-road and off-road. So yeah, let us know. And again, don't forget we got to spray, because we don't want to see rust. Although it ruins the gold color a little bit, I'd rather see black than rust. We got plenty of gold on this thing. Alright, so yeah, the lower control arms, we don't have those tightened up yet. We're gonna do those later. Jam nuts, we still don't have tightened up. We still got to do the upper control arms. So let's see what's next on the list here. So yeah, pretty much Yeah, so right now we're tightening up the clamps. So let's see, this is for the bump stops. So we got those. This is for the springs. We got those. This is for the shock mounts on the bottom, the brackets. We got those. That's how to install them. We got those. And this is to install the shocks. Shocks are in place. This is to remove the caliper hoses. We're one step ahead on that. We did that in the beginning. So now what we got is we got to mount those brackets for the new caliper hoses on there. So this is our new brake hoses. Good thing they came with it because this car was due for new brake hoses anyways. And these ones look nice and pretty. We'll get this opened up. Alright, so this is the brackets that we gotta install on there to hold those in place. We got that. It looks like we might have to drill another hole here because these have 2 holes and they gave us 2 screws, so I guess we're using the original one and then adding an extra one. Looks like we're going to be doing some heavy duty braking on this one. Alright, so we're going to get this one bolt here where our original one was. And then we got to drill another one. And those look like the same bolts as the other one, so we'll use that same drill bit size. Alright, so here we go. So that looks like a good spot. Good angle. So let's center punch our drilling hole. Alright, that's that. And what do we do once again? We paint. I'm going to paint the hole, and I guess this one will paint the whole thing. Because this one's just bound to rust sooner or later. It looks like that's just plain steel. So now we'll tighten up with our self-tapping. Alright, there's that. Let's tighten up our other one. And we'll spray that odd bolt. We don't need one shiny bolt. Alright, so now, yeah, in your case, you guys got it easy. In my case, I got this rusty brake line here that I can't twist a nut on it. So what I'm going to do is I'll get it started and tighten it through the bottom. Деньги прокта. Събие, доста надмалъчно. Alright, so we got that. Yeah, and instead of tightening it up there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that and then tighten it on the bottom here. And this is going to go in here like that, but we're not going to mount the bottom portion of it yet. So we got a lot to go. So hold the top. And then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so we got the other side done too. Yeah, make sure you guys put that clamp on there, hold it in place. And now we're gonna lift it up and get the control arms and the track bar in place. Alright, so we'll start out with the control arm on the passenger side. This is the one where we got to put the bolt in through the hole on the side. There, through there. Something on the marble. Alright, so this is going to go in like that. Make sure we don't lose this bolt in the frame. Alright. Alright, we got that all the way through. Get the washer and the nut in on the other side. And just leave those hand tight for now. And then we'll do the other side too. Alright, so here we got the fancy nut on this side to hold it in place. We're going to hold that with one hand here. And, Oula. Yep. Tighten that up by hand. I'm going to put the jack underneath and compress the suspension a little bit. Okay, so that's about as low as it's gonna go. So it looks like we'll have to extend this one a little bit more to line up with the hole. And then we'll get that one installed. Like everything else, put a little bit of anti-seize on it. We don't want it rusting up, and we want to make sure we're able to get it back out next time around. Let me get a better look from this side. It looks like we gotta extend it a little bit more. Still not there. All right. Én csak így, hogy a kocsók levettük. Alright, so this one's giving us some trouble lining it up. Gotta tell them what we can use a pry bar and together. We got that in. Now we'll work on the other side. And the same thing with this one. We'll keep loosening this up until we line up the holes. Yeah, it looks like we're there on that side. So let's get this side started. And let's see what happens with the other side. All right, so we got that started. And as far as tightening everything up, what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive this up on a drive-on lift so it's flat, or just leave it on the ground. Should be high enough to get underneath it if you guys got bigger tires on it. And then we're gonna tighten everything up on the ground so that way it's flat and it's not the suspension's not hanging down. So we'll leave that for now, and now we'll move on to the next step. Next, what we got to put the track bar in place. All right, so we got the new track bar here. So the adjustable end of it's gonna go on the differential end of it, and then the fixed part's gonna go up on the top. And the curvy part is gonna go towards the front bumper away from the differential. So it's gonna kind of go like that. Alright, so it's gonna go like that. So that way the curve is towards the front. Okay, so you guys see this curve? It's pointing up and towards the front. Make sure you guys don't have it like that where it's towards the differential. Alright, so we'll get that in place, and then yeah, just hand tighten that one. Alright, so we're going to adjust this a little bit so that way it matches up our hole. Still not there. And for this one, we got to make sure we got the full weight of the vehicle on the springs. So you guys want to jack this front end up all the way. Put that to perfection. Alright, so that's that. Looks pretty good right there. Alright, so now that we got the track bar in, we're going to go ahead and tighten up all the bolts and all the centric nuts on all our control arms. And yeah, make sure you guys got a jack underneath it and got the suspension lifted up when you're doing this one, so that way you got to take all the tension off of the control arms in order to tighten those up, so that way it has flex on the bushings when you're going up and down bumps, and you don't want to tighten them up when it's flexed all the way down, because then when you hit a bump, you're putting a lot of stress on those bushings. Oh no, that was right there. So yeah, we'll tighten this one up where it is. Yeah, we don't have to go too crazy on them for now because we're taking it to the alignment shop. They're going to do the final magic over there. To nam moje się. All right, next we're going to be putting in our sway bar links. So yeah, just like we said in the beginning of the video, make sure you guys got the sway bar links with the longer stud in the front, and the ones with the shorter one in the back. So let's get these guys going. And these guys are the same left and right, so you don't have to worry about that one. We're pretty much going to go in like that. Wheeler. We're going to raise it until this hole lines up here with our sway bar length, so we put the bolt through it, and then we're going to put the bolt in from this. Yeah, babe? Yeah, babe? Uh-huh. Okay, so it looks like we got to push the sway bar up a little bit. There. And get that in there. Stick our washer. And then stick our original nut. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. On that one. And I think we're good to go. And now, last but not least, make sure you guys get all your ABS harness wiring back into place. And then our breather hose and our sensors for the differential. Make sure you guys connect these. It looks like this breather is not going to reach, so we'll have to probably redo that one and get a longer one. Let's get our connectors back into place. So yeah, that's it with the front end lift on there, 3.5 inch, with the MetalCloak suspension on there, with the Rocksport black struts, or shocks I should say. And that's gonna be it on the front end until we do the brakes, and we're gonna do the re-gear. But in the meantime, we're gonna cut it at this and continue on with the rear. Do the 3.5 inch lift on the rear too, and then keep following us to see that one, and then we'll bring it down and see what everything looks like. Thank you guys for watching. We'll continue the journey, and we'll see you guys on the next one.